you're focusing on pushing the medium density stands to the market.
Yeah.
Is there any particular reason why?
Well, just that particular project is medium density, 600 square meters. Obviously, I don't think there's much point in pushing low density. I mean, you know, we don't want to be, you know, it's quite difficult to actually get a good return on an expensive house because the rentals are subdued. And then, so medium and low is where we've got to focus. Also, as I said, I still think it could be an impulsive buy, because if you were overseas and I said to you, you know, you can get a stand for $4,600 and convert that to pounds. I don't know what it could be. Maybe that's 3,000. Maybe that's what you earn in a week. You say, look, let me just get one in case, or one for my younger cousin, because they keep calling me just something. So, you know, when we look at those figures, boy, it doesn't seem as much of a worry for someone overseas. But if I did say, look, guys, I want you to start pushing the $200,000 to $300,000 houses, you know, it becomes a very serious decision.
So 2 questions. The first one is, you're selling stands, but then do you go into the development of a house? Say someone wants to buy an actual house as opposed to buying a stand.
So right now, we've just completed a house in Harare. That is quite new technology. The Bulawayo City Council have approved all my documentation, but they haven't seen the house. So as soon as they get up to see the house, it'll be quite nice. It comes in a panel, but it's concrete on both sides. So it's a durable house. It comes with, as I said, it's a fully fitted house. So from everything, from the kitchen all the way through to all the toilets, fittings, lights. And we're quite happy that that's coming in between the 15 and 17,000 just for the smaller 50 square meter, you know, high density house. So we will be able to, they'll be able to say, yes, we want to order one. It'll come in. And again, another thing is what you just want people to be able to do is see the slab go down. You want to see the walls go up. I think they need to have, and it can happen in 1 month. Fortunately, this process is very quick. So
wow.
you can move in 30 days to move in from the time that it arrives.
Okay. All right.
Okay, that's intense.
Basically, are providing end-to-end services from the stand to the
From the stand to the finished house, to a tenant, to a rental income.
Then my second question is, say we can get large volumes for the Zimbabwean market. How flexible are you to changing the size of the deposit that you want people to pay?
Yeah, look, this is Zimbabwe, everything's negotiable. Don't worry about those small details. Once we look at, and it's quite nice, there are some bigger opportunities out there where people have grouped funds in whatever form or fashion, and we certainly are happy to look at those, and yeah, they can change the numbers a little.
Well, you'd say that you've done a few sales to the diaspora before. How had you interacted with them? How did you get to know those?
Yeah, and interestingly enough, there is still a lot of communication via the website, but what I find is that they will do the research, then they will call us. So we do have a lot of talking with people, particularly from the UK at the moment, and so they would be. So that's pretty much how it starts. But there's still documentation and processes to go through. I mean, who signs on it? And just as small things as that. And so we just need to make sure we understand all those. But we have definitely sold even just this year a few to people overseas.
And at what stage of the title deed is made available if someone commits to buying them?
No problem. So they all differ on each project. On this particular project for Hopeful, we anticipate almost from 12 months from next, so almost exactly a year from now, title deeds will be available. Because what happens, the City Council puts down a lot of regulations before a title deed can become available. And because it's such a big project of 1,700 stands, they've all got to be serviced. Curbs put in, or there's probably about 6 or 7 clauses in there. Once they're all met, it's not a problem. But there's the documentation that we provide gives them a rock solid. I mean, they can still trade it. I mean, it's a session. There's nothing for them to worry about on that. But we learn those processes along the way with the sales team, and we'll give you as much information and ammo behind any questions like that. Obviously, that is an important aspect to anyone owning a property. They want to have something physical that they can have behind it.
So you said they're made available 12 months after the purchase, or you're saying
No,
that those title deeds will be available in the next
in the next 12 months, because the trucks have started there. So in the next, if anyone travels down the airport road now, you'll probably see that there's a whole bunch of earth moving equipment on site already. Contractor reckons 3 to 6 months to meet certain minimum requirements, and then another 2 to 3. But each stand has been surveyed quite specifically. So you will have documentation with your longitude, latitude points, pointing out what is yours and that. And so.
Okay.
So each project differs on what the requirements are.
So, in terms of the data that you collect, let's say you have people buying stands, you have people buying actual properties, and you, of course, made some transactions with people in the diaspora, right? How is your relationship with these people? Do you collect data on who has bought? Are you keeping a relationship with them so that you somehow know what kind of people you are attracting or where they're coming from specifically?
Yeah, we don't have enough of a database. Personally, we really don't. What generally happens though is if you communicate with me to buy something, we do build that relationship. So what happens is in 3 months' time, you've decided it's a good investment. You generally call back and ask to speak to me again, and that's how my sales team have been saying, look, I have this client, and but no one's really had the thought to say, let's just. In each of their books they have that information, but we don't have a collated bit of information.
So from that relationship with the diaspora, the way I could put it is, alright, from the people that you've liaised with from the diaspora or sold stands to, which personas or characteristics of the people who actually buy the stand as opposed to those who just inquire and do nothing?
And it's interesting, it's a good question, but to be honest with you, the sales that we've completed have been more on the largest side. So it seems that they've either are looking to come back, or they're trying to set something up for the future for themselves or for a family member. So over the past 6 months, we've probably sold maybe 5 or 6 houses from Kamala to Hillside to people that are living outside the country. And it seems like their main goal was to return, or it was specifically for a family member to either do something with or live in. So it hasn't been so much on the lower end where the guys have just speculated and got a stand. It's been quite thought out ahead of time. They've seen a house, they've contacted us, and then they've done the research from there. So we might be looking at a different band at the moment of people for this next stage. This next stage, guys might not have anticipated coming back just yet, or again, as I said, they might they'd probably be on the younger side perhaps, because we've probably looked at the last few sales have been people have been in diaspora for 40 years. I don't know how we're going to work on those younger guys to convince them to come back.
For the people that buy stands, what sort of information do they need besides the fact that, okay, I've got a piece of land that I want to buy? Is there any other information they want in relation to maybe the location where they are buying the stand?
I'm sure they want as much information as possible. I'd say your job would also to be researching anything from population to the area to to what's in the area, to future growth, anything to convince them. There is a company that does some sales outside of the country and tries to market to us, and they always give us an image, give us a snapshot of the city, and I think you probably need to remind some people about where Bulawayo is, where these developments are, and I'm not too sure what else you're going to do to convince them that. But what they need to probably do, is they do need to know the area. I mean, to the very, doesn't anyone have a drone? And you should be droning over the site.
As part of the allocation of the stands, as you're saying, they've already been surveyed. Are there any community-based developments that have been set up, or any land that has been set aside for things like that?
Yeah, on this particular one, when you see the map, there's definitely there's school set aside, there's library set aside, there's a couple of spots set aside.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
And they're all for sale.
Oh, those lots are also for sale.
Yeah.
Oh.
See, for a school and one.
There's the biggest looks like there's a primary and secondary school set up, because just confidentially, semi-confidentially, but we do know that this developer and a couple of his partners have looked at the property across the road, and have got a plan in place for 10,000 stands. So I think they've already purchased it. So they'll see how this goes, and then we'll be prepared to really grow the city in another stage. But look, so that's just another opportunity. I still need to see. We need a few changes in Bulawayo itself, in the country maybe, but notwithstanding that, it's all looking like it's promising for the future on that.
So what service centers are there at the moment in that area?
I'll look at the map, but there's definitely the schools, the library. I can't remember what else there's land. Each city council has pushed for land like that, so it can't all just be
Residential. Okay. Interesting.
And how far is it from the city center?
What the maps are, 8Ks?
I haven't seen. I think Blessing saw it. Yeah. Is the map available in digital format?
Yes.
Okay.
You say 8K?
Yeah.
Right. And just out of interest, do you have any properties that are mostly used by tourists?
Tourists.
Like tourists are coming in, do they sleep in any of your, or do they make use of any of?
No. But do you see that many tourists?
That's why I wanted to.
They're also local tourists from home. Okay. Hi. Sure. Take a seat. All right.
So, you don't stay.
No, it's okay. You can do your thing. All right.
So the tourist side of things, I'm extremely interested in, because that is an opportunity that can change really quickly. But whether or not we've got anything that you can work on that, not just yet. That'll be your next job.
Okay, currently, how easy is it for the client in the diaspora to purchase the land and see everything without them being physically present here?
It's quite difficult.
It's difficult.
WhatsApp pictures? I don't know. We haven't, so again, the projects that have happened, the properties that have happened, it's family, it's pictures, a couple of that, then they're coming themselves. So we haven't really used anything fancy. Not even YouTube, not even
Okay.
pictures.
Interesting. So I know we have people who already have some idea as to what they want or might want to use to solve this. If you're interested, you could share a bit on that, and maybe get a few questions from the people and from Daryl as well. I know most of us were waiting for clarity from Daryl first, so that we understand the situation in order for us to start creating solutions. But yeah.
I'll start. Well, my opinion is that Generally, what I think is that most of the Zimbabwean market has not been attacked as yet, but it comes back to the liquidity crisis and whatnot. So maybe, if the payment, if the deposit can be reduced, and then you give higher price for installments, you can get more and more people being able to actually buy stuff. Because, for example, stands that are being sold by, what's the name of this? There's a new housing company, Hochflight. Yeah, Hochflight is selling quite a number of stands, of which most of the issues around those stands have been that some of the facilities are not fully developed in the area and people are generally unsatisfied. But there's indication that people have the interest to buy properties. So I think with a bit of market research, you'll be able to tell us in terms of how much the average person in the market that we're trying to attack can afford to pay for deposit and what installment is a bit fair on them. So
but we don't want to drag it out too long. There's no project. These contractors are also out there a lot of cash, so they need to have something coming quickly. So we have set up terms, and we would weigh them up. But and notwithstanding, you're right. There's a good market in Zimbabwe that we haven't really tapped in, not nearly hard enough. And again, it's because of the challenges. I mean, even Hawkflight, even though they've managed to succeed in putting their houses up and down, yes, there's a lot of disgruntled companies. They're being sued because some of the houses have fallen down. You know, we don't want to be into that. We don't want to be in that category at all. Everything we're going to try and do is going to be in the first world level because, again, if you have travelled overseas and then you come back here, if you go to a Hawkflight house, you just would be appalled. So we've got to make sure that it's got to be at the level that they want. And I encourage anyone, yes, get sales locally. But the Reserve Bank governor has asked if we can get some sales from outside too, please. So you can do him a favour.
Is there any limitations in terms of nationality? So can a South African person buy a stand, and are there any special requirements in situations like that?
No, there's no limitation.
There's no limitation. So this is to the diaspora Zimbabweans out there, but also just people globally.
People who want to take a punt, because we've got huge potential ahead of us.
True. In terms of solutions, so one of the things that I've been thinking about is Daryl was saying, is so you mentioned drones, right, and wanting to actually see the stand and all of that. I think one interesting thing that might be done or can be done or will be done, hopefully, is so if somebody requests a particular stand, right, they can actually request for a person to physically go, right, and take an entire video. So it's a 15-20 minute video, right, of the place where the pegs are, what it looks like, what's near it, and what's next, and all of that. And we can actually outsource that to young individuals like ourselves. So somebody requests from the UK, Paul gets the request, and Paul goes there and takes this content, right? Obviously, a drone is way cooler, right? But we do have issues to do with drones and how to use them and where to get them. Like Michael can help us on the way to get them part, but yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. And naturally, there are challenges to doing that, right? The people reliable and all of that. But that's one way of doing it. Yeah.
I think on top of that, you can add what else is available, the services around the area. Like for example, the type of school. If there's a mall or something like that would make something. Actually, if it's not an actual desert or something like that.
Also including weather conditions and stuff like that for the past 5 years, or how the weather generally is.
Are you talking to your UK friends?
Yeah, so people would be interested in knowing like the climate, weather, things like that.
It's I've lived overseas, and you do get into your pockets of Zimbabweans. It's not only going to be internet advertising too. I mean, I do recall also in the UK there's a lot of publications and that. So I don't know if you got to understand really the whole market. Where are they looking? Are there particular places that they're going to and that? But so that's quite a bit of extra research on that. You could, I mean, the internet is obviously invaluable, but I would still say that if you have any other ideas to be able to penetrate a Zimbabwean clique in some other part of the world, and then see what happens.
So I was just picking up a solution some weeks ago, and I realized there's a market segment that's probably in Zimbabwe. You wouldn't locally, you wouldn't expect people as young as most of us to be buying stand, because we actually don't have the means to do that. But I realized that those who are learning in schools outside the country, like in China, for example, in USA, and there are a lot of Zimbabwean students there. Some of them make as much as $90 an hour where they're working. And they're mostly using this money to just make a living, because some of them actually don't have an idea of how they can make use of that money. So I was thinking of reaching out to that segment of the market, and one thing that I realized is they are also a segment that will not be able to develop on the stand as soon as they buy. So I was thinking more along the lines of modular homes. Like they could be cheaper, and they might have returns faster than first building a house and then. So I wanted to ask how possible it is in Zimbabwe to build container homes.
Yeah, unfortunately, City Council is not happy about it at all. Not happy about it at all. In fact, this building system that we're going to get approved, hopefully, fingers crossed, in the next month or two, will probably be one of the first that they've approved since brick and mortar. So people are building with them at the moment, but they're not approved buildings. So you can put cottages with those panels up. You can do that.
But temporarily,
you can temporarily. So there is a bit of a loophole there, because you can put it up while you're building.
Okay. No, that was actually the idea, that to put a modular home while you're building.
Yeah. So I mean, the modular home while you're building is definitely something that they've kind of let slide on it.
Right.
But it wouldn't ever give you the final approval. It wouldn't be on your plans. It wouldn't be on your title deed. So that's the only thing that they're quite far behind. Considering that we're using modular building all over the world, almost in any region, I mean, whether it is, from any climate, I'm just surprised that they're so against it.
So you're looking to push this project in about a year?
No, well, if this, you'll be able to, within 3 months, roads and sewage will be in. So I anticipate building in 3 months now. In fact, we try and get it. I don't know if they get bonuses overseas. You get their bonus for it.
Essentially, ones don't need sewage and everything.
No, they do that. Well, because how are people going to live without we're not going down that. We're finishing a project. Flushing toilets. Because what happens is then it's 5 years where somebody doesn't have a toilet, but then the neighbors built a house.
No, the toilet will be there, but it's one of those recycling things.
Yeah. Let's just finish the project. We'll finish projects, don't worry. We're going to make it look nice and neat. When somebody comes to visit, in fact, we're going to be upgrading our offices. We're just sign writing everywhere, making it modern, lightening it up, because that's a perception that they've had over the past few years. And when people come and visit now, they need to be seen at those standards. So let's just keep everything to the best standard that we can.
Question: are there any regulations around group ownership of property?
No, there's not.
There's none.
No. Okay. In fact, on this particular one, when the time comes, I'll let you know that there's a whole band of those properties we might be able to get in half. So what will happen is you could buy it with somebody and put a duplex up.
Oh.
Okay, so that means you can have 300 square meters each, and the house is in the middle, and whilst it's got a sharing wall or a common wall, but it is still bricked all the way up. I mean, duplexes are very common overseas. and then that way. But then again, on the title deed, both of you own it.
So there is freedom to build in whatever way you want.
Yes.
Understand?
Yes.
Okay.
So long as city council approves.
Yeah, obviously you've got to go through your normal approval processes.
Otherwise,
You can't just
the
build it.
bulldozer.
You can't build it. There's one other project that doesn't have that liberty, which we can share with you. It's Mr. Glendenning's one by Petra School on Cecil Post, I think. And the city council said these are townhouses, so that's how you build. So there's two designs, you choose a design, but you buy the house, and you buy the design, and then you have to build from according to that design.
Okay.
The reason I was asking about group ownership is it might be interesting for your students, right, who are in the US to say, look, crowdsourcing platforms, right? Crowdsourcing platforms, right, where people come and contribute, right? So you essentially do the same model where you get 5 people to say, guys, okay, so let's raise, this is the amount that's required to have the stand, and this is the amount that will be required to have the house. And since John Pocock is already doing tenant placement, it then becomes essentially an investment opportunity, right, where you start getting kickbacks on a monthly basis. And everyone, sorry?
I think that's where I was going.
Oh, so you're going. So I'll just keep quiet now. You see. So yeah, I think that's also an interesting alternative. Yeah. All right.
No, I mean, you feel like something to bring.
So the reason I was recording is, so we're going to put this on YouTube, but as a closed video, so it won't be available to the public. So to only have access to it, you need to send me an email, and then I'll add your email address, preferably Gmail address. It will be for the guys in Narare who weren't, because I realized these questions are not going to be in what we're going to do on Monday. So at least there is a bit of content for them to cover. Then we'll take it down after just 2 or 3 days. So that's why we're doing it. Okay. Yes. Okay, so Bokan, just want to introduce yourself a bit. I know people are going to talk after this, so yeah, we don't want it to be awkward breaks.
What's that? Okay. Okay. Bogan in Belazing. Was a student at NASTA, just finished. Was doing content surveying, so currently looking for a job. Yeah. So then, but then TK is the one who told me about this project that you're planning to have. So, but at the moment I'm a bit dark. Yeah, late.
So it's interesting. So we have a bit of construction knowledge, experience. I'm on the knowledge side, no experience whatsoever. We have tech guys, we have sales guys, we have guys who are doing shared economy solutions, we have guys who are doing publicity and PR, we have designers. We basically have all the skills that you need to leverage on to start having this going. So I think from what we need to do now from here going forward, I know naturally we're going to hang out just a little bit, have a few conversations, a few drinks. But after this and going into the week, what we need to start doing is to refine, the type of ideas or the whatever you might want to work on, right? And remember, it's not necessary for everyone to have an idea, right? A lot of people are going to come and want to join a particular team, right? We all have roles to play in that. So start thinking about those ideas. Once you have an idea, you need to get in touch with Blessing, so that he lodges that as a potential team. And then what we'll do towards the end of the week is to then publicly announce to everyone to say, these are the ideas that are there, and then people start communicating with you to say, look, I might want to work with you on this particular idea. I have X, Y, Z skill, and I think I would contribute in that way. Right? So that's the next thing. So now what we need to do is to start refining those ideas, as I was saying, and then get to building teams. Then we'll let you know about the training and all of that. I wanted to show you most of you know what we're trying to do at Ascot, right? But I wanted to show you
through the screen right now. You're looking at
a bit of technology.
I'm sure you can see this.
We've been playing around with.
So, right. So I'm going to do some magic right now, which is going to show you something pretty cool. So just wait a moment. Wait for it. All right. So, okay. So there you go. So what you're seeing in there is the is the floor, the new floor, and if you move up, actually see what's happening? I remove that, see? That's the same wall which I'm showing here. So even if I move in 360 like that, I begin to actually see the reception. You see, that's the reception. And there it is, you see, behind the screen. So without it, then behind the screen. As you can see, can you see that? So this is a pretty cool feature that we're testing out. So as you can see, this is like the new rendition, or the proposed rendition, as you'd like to call it. Like as you can see right now, if you look at this column, then when I remove it, you see, I'll be showing you the existing column. So I'm actually moving in exact 3D of the actual space. So I'm going to try to run this. Right, so as you can see, right, so there you go. So this is what the place is going to be looking like. See those windows? Over there, the shop fronts. Yeah, so that's the door. Unfortunately, in this case, the door is closed, and in the design it's open, but basically the same place. All right, so thank you so much, guys.
So, we're talking about technology and trying to get into the first world market. So as we think about these ideas, let's think about different ways of getting our people to understand what we're trying to do, right? Traditionally in Zimbabwe, you're just shown a floor plan, right? So this is what it will look like, right? Doing something like this helps a client. Like if I were a person who was going to buy this place, the probability that I would buy it after this is high because I'm visually seeing what I might want to buy, as opposed to just seeing a floor plan and you get what I mean. So the reason I was showing this is just to indicate where we need to take these ideas in terms of the innovativeness, in terms of the deviation from the norm. Let's run wild, right? Because out there, wild is the norm. All right, so thank you guys. Gerald, thank you so much.
Alright, so just providing some snacks and drinks now, as you guys can get your creative thinking caps on, and just sell the dream, and let's just all make money.
One last thing.
Yeah.
I just want to know, with the current clients that you have got, do they have like, let's say for those in the diaspora, do they have like